Hey there kids, welcome to another math video. This is for Eureka Math Grade 5, Module 4, Lesson 18 homework. And the objective on this lesson is to relate decimal and fraction multiplication. So as you can see, we've got decimals being multiplied here, turn them into fractions, multiply with the fractions, turn it back into a decimal. Hopefully you already watched the problem set video so you know what you're doing, and then you did your homework. Please try to do the homework on your own first. This is definitely something you can do on your own. You don't need a lot of coaching, but you do need to know your multiplication tables. Know your facts. If you don't know them, you're going to have something handy that has the answers right there. In our school, we're not allowed to use calculators because you're supposed to know those facts. When you get into the upper grades, yes, you'll be able to use calculators because knowing the facts isn't what's important. It's putting them all together and taking them apart and factoring and using all your algebra. So for now, trust me, you need to know your math facts. 0 to 10, if you get those, you're fine. So what's the other part of this lesson? If you watch the problem set, you know, but we're connecting the fraction form to unit form. That's what this is with the word. Now you may not think, oh, this, is going to work for me, but it actually is really helpful. There are only a few things in Common Core that I say, oh, this is actually kind of cool. But I'll show you eventually when we do multiply just decimal times decimal. There's a really quick and easy way to figure out what the answer is. So, and that's the old school way that your parents will probably tell you is the best, and I think they're right on this one. So anyway, we're going to multiply using fraction form, unit form. Check your answer by counting the decimal places. This is old school, and that is the best way. That's what I did. It was awesome. I never needed any of this. Think of all the time you could save. Okay. Anyway, fractions, solve it. This one's done. Let's do this one. It's partially set up for us. So you take your decimal form, turn it into a fraction, noticing what place value position this is over. That's 33 tenths. This is 8 tenths. Taking the word tenths, this is your unit word label that this is, okay? And then you do the standard algorithm over here because I wouldn't want to really do it this way when it's easier to do it this way, because when you carry over, it is easier to see where it's going. 8 times 3 is 24. Then 24, 25, 26. And then think about 10 times 10 because the answer would be 100, but you have to because it's place value here. We're going to put 100. If you don't have the THS, it's wrong. It's wrong. Put THS. Next step, because it's single digit, not double like this one, we're going to go back to our fraction form. 33 times 8, copying this method here. And then 10 times 10 is 100. That's where we get that label. We already know the answer now. Okay, it's 264 hundredths. And then you turn this into a decimal just like the first one. But think about place value position. You've got to end in the hundredths place. And so it's 2.64 for your first answer that you do on your own for B. Okay, and let's do it again. 44 tenths times 32 tenths. Hopefully you got those. Then rewrite it over here with your 44 and 32 and what label? Tenths. And you can do it in any order, but I'm just doing 44s first, so that's what's on the top. Now multiply using the standard algorithm. 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 4 is 8. Hold this spot with a 0 or move over to the tens place. 3 times 4 is 12, carry the 1, then we have 12 plus 1 is 13. Add these up. Don't forget your regrouping. Now you've got 1408. You're probably not sure what your place value position is, so remember, 10 times 10 is 100. So you're going to put 100 hundredths. Now take your fractions. 44 times 32. Multiply your 10 times 10 to get the 100. Show that you know what the answer to 44 times 32 is. It's 1,408 something hundredths. Now create a decimal out of that. Now remember, if you have a lot of digits and you're not sure where everything goes, just start putting lines in near your decimal. Oops, I have no more eraser on there. Start putting lines in near your decimal and then fill in the blanks. So if I have 1,408 hundredths, why did I put so many lines? Because I want you to see that you can have a strategy. It has to end in the hundredths place. Where is the hundredths place? Identify it. This is tenths, this is hundredths. I have a 4-digit number. It has to end here. So it's going to be 1408. You can back it out, or you can just write it the way it goes. And no, you don't need all these extras, but you might not know where to start when you start building your number. So that is your final decimal answer, and you can circle it. Next one, 22 tenths, because it's in the first place value position, times 16 tenths. Standard algorithm, 22 times 16, both tenths. With the word or unit form, use the standard algorithm, 6 times 2, 12, and then 12 plus 1 is 13. Move it over, 1 times 2, 1 times 2. Don't add that because that was for the first go. Add these, 5, 3. Tenths times tenths is what? You should know by now. Hundredths, use the THS. Take your fractions, 22 times 16, put that over your product, 100. We know what the answer is, it's right there. 352 hundredths. Take this and put a decimal down, and then think about your place value positions, tenths, hundredths, that's where we're going to stop. And I have 3 digits to place this time. So I'm going to place them where they belong. Okay? I hope you're getting that. I hope you're a subscriber. Click the little subscribe button. Come back again. I like regular customers. I see a lot of people watching that are just new. Well, click subscribe and come back again. Okay, number 2. Multiply using fraction form and unit form. The first one is partially done for you, so you get to finish that off. 3 and 36 hundredths is 336 hundredths. Notice that we're taking the decimal out when you write it in fraction form. It would be redundant to put that in there. It would be incorrect. 1.4, 1 and 4 tenths, 14 tenths. There's your new unit form label. Here is your fraction progression. And we know our answer is going to be this. It's nice that they gave you the answer, but you still have to do the standard algorithm here. 4 times 6, 24, carry the 2. That's 12 plus 2 is 14. That's 12 plus 1 is 13. Hold this with a 0 or move to the next place value position. 1 times 6, 1 times 3, 1 times 3. Add them up. 4, that's 10. 6 and 1 is 7, and that's 4. 4704, 4704. Double check. And then take your hundredths times tenths. Well, if I had 100 times 10, it'd be 1,000, and that's your label. THS, okay, because THS times THS gives you THS. Okay, take this 4,704 and finish in the thousandths place. It's the 3rd position to the right of the decimal. That's how you know you have the right placement for your unit form label. Moving right along, they set this up for us with our unit form, but you still have to do the fraction form. So what is the denominator? It's telling you right here. 335 over 100 times 7 tenths. Okay? 335 hundredths times 7 tenths. Do the standard algorithm. 7 times 5 is 35. We have 21, 22, 23, 24, 21 again, 22, 23. Take your unit form, hundredths times tenths. You know what the answer is going to be. Write it. DTHS. And then take your 335 times 7. Put the answer, I'm ahead of myself. 335 times 7 on the top, but only multiply the bottom. That's your first step. Then you put your answer that you already got over the 1,000. Then you convert it. Now again, I need thousandths, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and I have 4 digits to place when 5 is going to be in the last spot there. So got to back it up to 2 here in the ones place, then 3, 4, 5. That's a fun number. And at the bottom here, last 2, you get to do it all by yourself. If you haven't done it yet, pause the video and try it now that you know how to do it. Make fractions, 4, 0, 4 over. What place value position? Hundredths. Times, no decimals, 32. What place value position? Tenths. Write your standard 404 but unit hundredths. THS. Write your standard form number but your unit place value tenths. Multiply. Standard algorithm. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 8. Next line. Scooch over to the not here tens place. 4 times 3 is 12. The 1 goes up, and then 3 times 0 is 0, and the 1 comes down. 3 times 4 is 12. Add them up. 8, 2, 9, 2, 1. And hundredths times tenths is thousandths. Okay, rewrite fractions. 404 times 32. Pretend like you don't know what the answer is, but do multiply the bottom. Now, see what the answer is. It's 12,928. That looks like a decimal, my bad. Over 1,000. And now, don't worry about the comma. If you didn't put it in, that's okay, because that's not necessarily going to be the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. We have to shift it so that we end up in 3 places to the right. Okay, that's where the 8 goes. So it's 12,928. 12928. This is the 928. So where does everything else go? Keep backing out. And so it's only 12 tens and then 928 thousandths. Okay? If you weren't sure about the placement of the comma, just leave it out and don't worry about it just yet. Okay, fractions, 44 tenths. How about this one? 16 what? Hundredths. Standard form 44 times 16, but put your label tenths and hundredths. That's your unit form label. Use the standard algorithm to solve. 6 times 4, 24. And 24, 25, 26. Hold that. Multiply with 1 times 4, 1 times 4. Add 10, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's my label? Tenths times hundredths is thousandths. You should know that by now. We've repeated it several times. Don't put a decimal in here. The next thing with our fractions is to rewrite 44 times 16. Do multiply the bottom. Do solve 704. Rewrite your bottom number. Matches your uniform label. Now, 704 thousandths looks like what? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. It's only 3 digits, so fill in every line. Yes, you can put a 0 there in the ones place. Now, let's take this old school method, and I want to show you real quickly what it is. Count the number of decimal places to the right in the original problem. There's 1 here and 1 here, and in your final answer, there's 2. That's the old school method. That's how you know where to place the decimal. Why does this old school method work with just counting the places? Because of all this. So this, count, place. 1 and 2, 1, 2. 1 here, that makes 2. 1 here, that makes 2. We get down here and we go, oh, 1, 2, 3. 3 places to the right, that means 1, 2, 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3 in the original problem, 1, 2, 3 in my answer. 1, 2, 3 in my original problem, 1, 2, 3 in my answer. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, they all match. That is how I learned it. Old school, easy peasy. But it works that way because of all that stuff behind the scenes. And when I would ask, why does it work this way? And you just can count. And everybody would say, be quiet, just do your work. So anyway, here we are. Solve using the standard algorithm. Show your thinking about the units of your product, the units in unit form. The first one is done for you. So take your 32 tenths, make it a fraction. Take your 6 tenths, make it a fraction. Rewrite just like we did and solve. Unit form here, and then turn it into your decimal. The 1 and 92 hundredths, tenths, hundredths. So that's 192. That's where they got that. And so that's what we're doing here. Hopefully you already did it. Okay, fraction form. 23 tenths, 21 tenths. That is 23 times 21 over, go ahead and solve, 100. Your unit form is written for you, 23 tenths, 21 tenths, just like we had here. And then we're going to solve using the standard algorithm, 1 times 3, 1 times 2. Hold this spot with a 0, move over. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4. Add, add, add. What's our label? Hundredths. What's your decimal? Think about where you put your decimal. Tenths, hundredths. I have 3 digits, so it's going to be 483. 4.83. 4 and 83 hundredths. That's what we have here. Okay? Next one, we've got 3 digits here. So in fraction form, it's going to be 741 over what? Tenths, hundredths. Times 34, that's a 2-digit number, what? Tenths. That's only one place to the right. Your second thing that you write, squeeze it in, 741 times 34, but solve the bottom. 100 times 10 is 1,000. Take your standard form and write the digits, 741 times 34, but we need those unit form labels. This one's going to be hundredths, THS, and this is tenths, TENTHS. Use the standard algorithm and solve there. 4 times 1, 4 times 4 is 16, carry. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29. Move it over. 3 times 1, 3 times 4 is 12, carry the 1. I'm going to use that one. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. Add them up. 4, 6 and 3 is 9, 9, 10, 11. 2 and 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and then 2 comes down, and hundredths times tenths is thousandth, just like that says. Okay, so now we have our answer, but we have to place it with the decimal. I need 3 places to the right. Just fill in the blanks until you've got all the digits written. So I've got 194 to the thousandths. What about the 25? They go out to the left. 25 and 194 thousandths, or 25,194 thousandths. So last one here for practice. 650, this one's fun, hundredths. So what I would do if I was going to do this by myself and not teaching it, I would just take off that last 0. It's kind of a dangler. It's just hanging out there and useless. But we're going to put it up here because I really want you to focus on place value positions. Times 45 tenths, because this is the last digit that we have to deal with. Rewrite 650 times 45, solve, get your 1,000. Hopefully that's what you got. Unit form over here. Hundredths, 45 tenths. Use the standard algorithm. Hopefully you did it already. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. We've got 30 plus 2 is 32. Move over because the 5 is done. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 5 is 20. That's another 2. I'm going to use it. 4 times 6 is 24. 25, 26. Add, 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 add. Hundredths times tenths is thousandths. I need 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. And again, here I have this 0, which it's fine. We're going to leave it there, and some other day I'll show you about the getting rid of the zeros on the end. So 29.250, squeeze. Hopefully you can see it, microscopic print. Okay, 29.250. There we go. 29 and 250 thousandths, 29,250 thousandths. Make sure you finish in the thousandths place, which is 3 to the right of the decimal. All right, a couple more little things here. Eric buys 2 5/10 pounds of cashews. You could also say 2.5, but 5/10 is going to help you understand that 5/10 is equal to a half. Whenever we do decimals, we're going to leave this like that. Okay, so yes, you can, if you read it as 2.5, you can use 2.5 as any decimal from this fraction. 1/2 is a 0.5. We'll talk more about that in future videos. Okay, so 2.5 is 2.5 pounds of cashews. If each pound of cashews costs $7.70, how much will he pay for all the cashews? So when you have a pound and it's $7.70, and you have another pound and it's $7.70, and then you have a half a pound, you can just multiply the $7.70 or the price per pound by how many pounds you got. Now you might say, but we don't know how to multiply with decimals, so just do it in unit form, and then we'll put it back over here and I'll show you what we're doing. This is hundredths, and this is tenths. Just multiply with the standard algorithm. 5 times 0. 5 times 7 is 35. We have 35, 36, 37, 38. Hold this spot, move to the 2. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1 this time, and then 14 plus 1 is 15. Add them up. 12, 8, 9, and 1. Now hundredths times tenths is thousandths. And so that goes back to here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's what our cost is going to be, is $19.25 in standard American money. Okay, so how much will he pay for the cashews? Turn this into money. So looking at 1, 2, 3, take this. We need 1, 2, 3 positions. That's what it looks like. What happened to the 0? Well, in money, in American money, I only have pennies that are here. Okay, 1/100th of $1 is a penny, and it goes right there. We don't have thousandths of dollars, so they just kind of write that off. So you wouldn't say, oh, he paid 19 and 250 thousandths dollars. We don't do that. You say it's $19.25. Okay, swimming pool at a park measures 9 7/75 meters by 7 2/10 meters. Find the area. So area equals length times width. If they give you the length and the width, then all we have to do is multiply them. Bigger numbers should go on top. 9, 7, 5, and 7.2. Instead of putting the decimals in, just label them with unit form for today. Hundredths, tenths, and then we'll place our decimal at the end. But you can anticipate it's going to be 3 positions. 1, 2, 3. Let's think about that. 2 times 5 is 10. Then we have 14 plus 1 is 15. 18 plus 1 is 19. Row 2. Hold that. Move over. 7 times 5, 35. Carry the 3. 49, 50, 51, 52. And then 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. Add, add. Make a 10 and 12. 8, 9, 10. 107. Hopefully that's right. Okay, hundredths times tenths is thousandths, which means 3 places, 1, 2, 3. The area is, I'm going to place my decimal here, 70.2 meters. And trust me, put a little 2 exponent. When you find area, you have to label it in square units. And this little 2 exponent means squared. And finally, the area of a playground is 1.5 times that of the swimming pool. Okay, so this is the area of the swimming pool, and the playground is 1.5 times that. Find the total area of both. Okay, so first of all, if this is the pool, and I need the playground that's all this and a half more, so it's 1.5. What did we talk about up here? That 2.5 is a 0.5, so 1.5 is 1.5. Oh, there go the lights, because it's fun to have a light show during a math video. So we're going to take our 70.2 and we're going to multiply that by a 1.5. 1.5 is equal to 1.5, just the same as 2 is. So multiply with your standard algorithm, okay, which for today is unit form. So we're going to use 702 tenths and 15 tenths and multiply with those and anticipate that your answer will be hundredths. 5 times 2 is 10, carry, that's 0, and then 1. There's my answer. 7 times 5, 35. Hold it, multiply with 1. We've got 2, 0, 7. Add them up. 2 and 1 is 3, 5, 10. Tenths times tenths is hundredths. And I anticipate that my final answer has my decimal here. Now that is for 105.30 is the area of the playground. And what's our measure? It's going to be meters again, because they don't change it. So that's the playground. Okay, now that's not the final, but you can kind of mark that off and say, okay, if I have the area of the pool and the area of the playground, find the total area of both of them. So now you just have to add them together. Now the last thing we're going to talk about is adding together. You have to line up your decimals. So remember, 105.30, line everything up by the decimal. 70.2, caution, caution, caution. That is how you should have lined them up. I hope you did that right. If you didn't, go fix it and then pause the video and come back and check. 3 and 2 is 5. You should have 5 in the tenths place, 5 in the ones place, 7 in the tens place, and 1 in the hundreds place, so that you end up with 175 and 5 tenths, or 50 hundredths is what you could say is the total area, meters squared, of both. Hooray! I hope this was instructive. I hope this was helpful, and we will see you on another video another day. Goodbye for now.